Hey, how you doing? Daniel Ruiz Tyson, the Writers Live, Sunday, 4th of August 2019. 28 years since my first lads holiday. Went to Malta with some friends. I think I went on three lads holidays in all. I'm not really much of a lad, I never was, but the first holiday was a brilliant holiday. 91 was quite a, not a bad year. It was a boring year. I was coming back from a family do today, walking back, and I'll go on to the do shortly. And I was thinking that for the last 3 decades, they've all started badly for me. They've picked up in the middle, and then they've tailed off. And the 2010s have been no different. So ideally, I'd like to start the 2020s in strong fashion. I'd like to do what I did back in the 80s when I think, I started off the 80s fairly well. I have fond memories of 1980, 1981. 1981 was a great year for me. The morning, let me just steady the camera. The morning opened in good fashion today. Probably my best small talk of the year, my best small talk in a while, I think, in some time. The Sunday newsagent likes small talk. He brings the best out of me, small talk wise. He took over the shop across the road now about a year ago. I used to have a nice morning salutation with the old shopkeeper, the poor guy. The shop was an absolute mess. Some days he wouldn't even have milk. And early mornings when I would be travelling to the man, I'd see him opening up at sort of 6:45 in the morning, and he'd raise his arm to me, I'd raise my arm back, and I like that greeting. But with this guy, his English is really good, and we've just going in there on the Sundays, buying the paper for the neighbour, and I've got to say, I mean, some of my small talk recently has been really strong, and he's always at the heart of it. He's got a real business head about him. The kebab house opposite me closed down in the late spring, which was disappointing. Half the time, I'm not a big kebab eater. I am a kebab fan, but they're certainly not good for you. And also, you can't relax with that food. It's unfortunate that the kebab is a great takeaway, but it's made by guys who belong to a particularly hairy part of the world. So, you can never relax. You're always looking for arm hair, and, often you find the arm hair. The kebab house has closed down now. Apparently, this won't be of interest to you guys. He's now trying to rent out the place to any other business for quite low amount of money now. His demands have really come down. I think, given Brexit might be imminent, and like small talk was considering apparently opening some sort of Japanese grill there. Then he considered a cafe, but there's too many cafes round here. The curry house next to the kebab house has since moved on to what have they moved on to? Grills and pizzas, which they didn't need to. They're a decent Indian takeaway. I'm always suspicious of things that try to do too much. I don't like specialists. Sorry, no, I do like specialists. What I don't like is, people that try to wear too many hats, businesses that try to do too many things. You've got the curry, you're doing the curry, you make a good curry. Why do you need to start making pizzas? Why do you start need to making grills? Just focus on what you're good at. It's like the two-in-one shampoo and conditioner. No, I have the shampoo, I have the conditioner. The two-in-one body wash and shampoo. The hair on your scalp is not the same as the hair on your body. I do not believe. I think you need a shampoo and you need a body wash. They need to be separate. They're not the same thing. So anyway, we started talking about business ideas, and I mentioned, and I'll say this now: if you're thinking about what might be a great business idea, certainly in London, certainly in South London, given the gentrification, given the amount of luxury buildings that are going up, one thing I've noticed in recent years now, the amount of dry cleaners based at the bottom of these luxury apartments, because they're full of the Ruperts that are moving in, and these people are going to be too busy to iron their shirts and such, and they're kind of used to having cleaners this kind of thing. Dry cleaners and cafes. These are businesses that I think are not going to be affected by the online world. And like Small Talk, agreed with that. He concurred with that. The dry cleaners. He said he'd noticed that. There'll always be dry cleaners in London. More than ever now. And he was talking about designing some dry cleaning app, and then, as he said, and this is important, he gave me a segue. He said something about those guys are making big money, and I thought, well, this conversation's been going on for 6 or 7 minutes, and I said, well, I hope you make your big money today, and I exited. I was pleased with that. I think it's important to have a segue to bring the small talk to an end. There were no interruptions. I was the only one in the shop throughout those 5 or 6 minutes that we were talking. I thought, have I got enough here to talk about it on a video later tonight? I thought, yes, okay, wrap it up, left. What else? Just looking at my prompt down there. The family do. My uncle's 80th birthday, enjoyable. The portions of food weren't too big, which I'm pleased about, because, if a portion is big, I, sometimes don't have the discipline not to leave anything on the plate, so I'm pleased that I wasn't tested. My apple pie was microwaved to death, I think. Bit of ice cream, scoop of ice cream on the side. Had my little cousin trampling all over me in his little Nike shoes. The exits were a little awkward because, and I think this is the thing now, my generation, we grew up with a handshake. My dad taught me how to shake hands, when I went to school. The teachers must have thought me very formal. I was 4 years old. I was offering everyone my hand. But I don't think the handshake can be improved on now. We got the fist bump. We got the man hug. We got the, leaning in for the hug. And I always feel like an imposter when I'm doing these. And there was a mixture of hugging with my cousins, which I'm fine with. But then, and I was at fault here. As I left a couple of my cousins in Stockwell, the greeting was awkward. The exit was kind of awkward because we don't really do the handshake. But I could see that my cousin felt something was needed. He doesn't live in London anymore. So I instigated the kind of leaning hug, which was awful on my part, because it's not something that I can do. And then I did the same to my younger cousin. He's about to turn 21, and I thought, well, this is what his generation do. Maybe he knows how to do it. He didn't have a clue what I was doing. I think maybe I was doing it wrong. I suppose I was. I definitely got it wrong. So very awkward. With the women in the family, it's quite simple. Kiss on each cheek. Can't go wrong with that, So that was fine there. What else? Yesterday, I tried to relax. I tried to focus on, watching some TV. I used to be able to watch loads of TV. It was my chosen industry. I was very passionate about it. I was very passionate about catching up on the latest shows that people were talking about. Not the case now. I find it very difficult to stay focused. Books are my thing. I'll read 2-3 books a week. Not a problem. Books, I'm just engrossed in books. But I think part of it with the television is, one, I think if there was a golden age of TV, it's gone now. I really do. I think the golden age of TV in this country, kind of first series, well, in the States and here, first series of NYPD Blue, I think, for me, I've never seen anything better. Unfortunately, the show took a nosedive pretty quickly after that, once Caruso left. Then you had Sopranos coming in around 1997, and I would say from around 97 to 2007, The Wire, Deadwood, The Sopranos, Breaking Bad, not a show that I like, but so many people love it that I think I ought to mention it. I don't think so many people can be wrong. Let me just swap arms here. This arm's hurting. I've got to get a selfie stick at some point. So I think that golden age of television is over, but there's still enough stuff left to watch. I watch a lot of European stuff when it's on. Gomorrah. I thought the second series was just immense. But those shows that captivate me now are few and far between, so I read a lot. But I think part of it with the television is technology has surpassed me. Once we went beyond the Freeview box, that was it with me. I'm not even sure that I put the Freeview box together, the setup back in 2002, when my friend the Space Daddy gave me his box set. But back in the back in the day, I used to be able to set anything up. As I told you, when my cousin's dog almost mounted me in late September 90. September 90, not late September 90. When my cousin's dog almost mounted me, it was because I was sorting out their VHS recorder. So, I was the go-to guy for these things. And now I just can't do it. So yesterday I thought I'll try and watch this film I recorded that the Space Daddy recommended, a sci-fi film, I think Arrivals. And I turned everything on. And then the film started, and it had that thing. I don't know what the name for it is. I think it was kind of audio edition. So the credits were rolling, and there was a voiceover telling me what I was watching. And I thought, not this again. This has happened before, and I got rid of it, and I couldn't remember how I got rid of it, and now it was back. So that was annoying. I managed to fix that, but by then I'd lost about 20-25 minutes of the time I'd allotted to watching this. So I've only watched half the film. It's a decent film. I can see why it was recommended. I'm not a big sci-fi guy, not a big zombie guy. Basically, when you're watching films where people can die and come back, I've not got much time for that kind of thing. But this, I'll certainly try and finish watching it during the week. Technology, back to the other arm. Technology, certainly, something I'm not great with. I remember 2 years ago trying to buy some trousers from Henny's. I looked online, couldn't find the prices of a particular pair of trousers. Thought I'd go into the store. Found the trousers, couldn't find the price. Found a shop assistant. Shop assistant said, "Oh no, you need to download the app." You download the app, and then you put your phone and scan the trousers, and it will tell you how much the trousers cost. And I just thought, this is going to make me sound very grumpy, but this is ridiculous. This is you're overcomplicating something very, very straightforward. I just need to know how much the trousers cost. And even if I'd found out how much the trousers cost, and I didn't because I wasn't going to download the app, I think by then I would have just said, okay, no, I'm not buying this. This is a ridiculous situation. So I just don't know how half the stuff works anymore. I don't know completely how the TV works. The phone line is not working. I don't know how to fix that. It's once we got past 2002, as I say, the box set, Freeview. That was it. Freeview was enough for me. I didn't need anything else. Anyway, if you've enjoyed this video, please like and share it, and please subscribe to the YouTube channel. And I'm guessing I'll probably be back tomorrow. Enjoy your evening.